everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Brooke, and this is where we expose the darkness and break the silence and walk together from surviving to thriving. In my last video, we talked about what trauma bonding is. Today, we're talking about how to break that bond. Here's what you need to know. A trauma bond is a chemical addiction in your brain. It's not just emotional, it's neurological. So your brain has been flooded with dopamine and oxytocin and cortisol and adrenaline in a really unpredictable pattern, which has created one of the strongest forms of psychological attachment known to science. If you're interested in learning more about trauma bonds, check out my other video to learn more because, as I say, knowledge is power. Research shows that it takes 6 to 12 months of complete no contact for a trauma bond to significantly weaken. That's your timeline. You can do anything for a year, and I'm here to help you. This isn't about willpower. It's about giving your brain time to physically rewire itself. And I'm going to give you practical, science-backed steps that you can use starting today. So if you're ready, let's dive in. We're going to start with the first and most important step to breaking a trauma bond, and that is prayer. Because if you're religious at all, then you know that we can't do anything without God's help. And to break one of the strongest forms of psychological attachment known to science, we're definitely going to need God's help. And so every morning, I pray for God to lead my day and to give me strength to make it through the day. And when my trauma bond attachment was really strong and I was having to break that attachment that I had known for so long, I would have to lean right into the Lord for Him to give me the strength that I needed. There's plenty of Bible verses to help remind you of your strength and God's strength. So every morning, I think that it's a good idea for you to start with prayer and say, God, please fight this battle for me today. Give me the strength to stay away. We can't do anything without God's help, and so let's let God be the number one fighter in our battle. When you're feeling weak, there's some verses that can help you. Isaiah 41:10 says, I will strengthen you and help you. That is just proof that God is going to help us. We're not in this alone. We're never alone. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So with God, we can do all things, and that includes breaking a trauma bond and staying away. God has plans for us that are greater than we could ever imagine. We just have to let Him lead the way, and we have to lean on Him when we are weak, because when we are weak, He is strong, and we need to remember that. So step number 1, pray. Okay, now we're going to talk about step 2, which is my favorite step aside from prayer, of course, and that's exercise. I love to exercise, and there's good reason behind it. So when we are in a trauma bond, our brain becomes addicted to the dopamine hit and the endorphins and stuff that we get through the abuse cycle. And we become addicted to feeling that dopamine and those endorphins. And our body actually starts to crave those chemicals. But guess what? When we exercise, we can naturally produce those same chemicals, but in a healthy, more sustainable way. So studies show that 20 to 30 minutes of intense exercise can immediately stop cravings and stop anxiety. That's pretty great, but there's more. So exercise also increases something called BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor. So think of it as like a fertilizer for your brain. BDNF helps your brain form new neural pathways faster. So you're actually rewiring your brain faster. And since our brain is wired to crave that addiction of, the cortisol and adrenaline and then the dopamine and the endorphins, we can help train and rewire our brain to crave it in a healthy, more natural way, which is great. Exercise also regulates our cortisol. So that's the stress hormone that we got. And it's chronically, elevated from living in stress and fear all the time. And so when we regulate the cortisol, we can actually start to calm down and our brain can start healing from the damage that's been done. And if we get outside, which I love to do, sunlight triggers serotonin production, which can help regulate our circadian rhythm, which will help us sleep better. And also fresh air and nature can activate parts of our brain that will calm down the stress and actually help stop the fight or flight feeling that we're feeling all the time. And it can help regulate it and get us to a more peaceful, natural state. So getting outside is good and exercise is good. And if we put the two together, then it's great. When you feel the urge to contact your abuser or to kind of fall back into the cycle, try to exercise instead. You can create a habit of it. Every time you feel the craving to call them or to get back with them, exercise, get outside, ground yourself. You're not just distracting yourself, you're giving your brain a healthy source of chemicals that it's craving. Because remember, you were actually in an addiction to this person, so you need to fill that addiction and get those cravings in more healthy, natural ways. And exercise can do that. All right, so the third one is a non-negotiable. It's something you have to do and you have to stick with. Remember when I said in the beginning of the video that you have to do at least 6 to 12 months of no contact for your brain to kind of detach itself from your abuser? Well, that's what this one's about. We have to go at least 6 to 12 months with no contact or really minimal contact. So if you have a child with this person, then that's a little difficult, but keep it simple to text and keep it facts only. Don't go into details about anything that is unnecessary. Even just a harmful text can give you those hormones and those emotions and those bonding chemicals and can make the trauma bond even harder to break. And so we need to be really careful about what we do and how we do it. It's like an alcoholic that just takes one sip, but then they get all those good feelings and they can't stop after one sip. It's kind of the same thing as if you kind of break that trauma bond or break that no contact order just a little, you're actually creating a stronger trauma bond and it's going to be harder for you to break. Every interaction resets the clock on your healing. So just try to do your best to have no contact at all. Block all social media, delete their photos. Don't be looking back at those. Remove every connection that you had to them. Try to stick with written communication only if it has to do with children. And here's what to remember. You're going to feel withdrawal symptoms. Your brain will experience actual withdrawal as if it was coming off of drugs or alcohol or something. You'll have intense cravings. You'll have anxiety. You'll have obsessive thoughts where you only try to remember the good things about this person, and your brain will try to trick you to go back to them. You may even have physical symptoms like headaches or nausea. I really need to see them. But don't. It's your brain just detoxing from the abuse and the addiction that you were in. Your dopamine receptors are recalibrating, right? You're rewiring your brain, and that's not always easy, especially not if you've been in it for a long time. Your stress response system is learning that it doesn't need to be on high alert anymore, but that also takes time to relearn and to calm your body down and teach yourself that this is okay, that what I'm feeling is okay. It's only temporary, and it usually only lasts 2 to 4 weeks, and then it gradually improves. I'm about to give you some more tips on what to do in the meantime when you're dealing with these intense cravings of seeing them and how to handle it. But remember, no contact whatsoever. You got this. Number 4 is distract yourself. So when obsessive thoughts start, or when your brain is stuck in a loop and your neural pathways are saying that it has to be this way because it's been this way and this is how we do it, you need to interrupt that loop. You need to stop it. When a craving hits, immediately distract yourself, whether it be exercise, calling a friend, watching a movie, baking something, cleaning, anything that engages your mind and hands at the same time. And here's the science behind it. So cravings typically peak and subside within 15 to 20 minutes. It's like a wave, and it builds and crests and then passes. If you can ride out the wave without acting on that impulse, your brain learns, I can survive cravings. I can do it, and I have a plan for it. Every time you successfully ride out a craving, you weaken the neural pathway a little bit and the cravings become less frequent, and your body knows that no matter how intense they are, I will get through this. And distraction isn't avoidance. It's giving your prefrontal cortex, your decision-making brain, time to come back online. So you don't make impulsive decisions based on the emotions you're feeling at the moment, that you can actually, break through them, and that you give yourself time to think rationally about the situation rather than just jumping to make that phone call or send that text. Another good way to distract yourself is to build community. Get out in the community and reach out to people that you normally wouldn't, or go out and try a new hobby, or join a club, or join a group. It's a really good way to teach your body and your mind that you have other people that you can rely on besides your abuser, that you can build your own community of people that support you and care for you and are there for you. You might have been isolated before, and now's your time to shine and really get out there and get to know yourself and get to know what you like. And you can do that through activities at your local library, or there's groups online that you can join. And, physical interaction is the best way. So get out there and make new friends and create a community. There's loads of opportunities to volunteer in churches or homeless shelters. There's definitely not a lack of things that you can do. It's just you have to put your mind to doing it. And trust me, you won't regret it, because while you're distracting yourself, you're also teaching yourself that you can rely on yourself and that you can rely on other people outside your abuser. So distract yourself and build your community. That's a good tip. So here's an important 2-part step. It's write it down. Number 1, when you're in a good place, when your stress level is down, and when you feel like you have a little peace and control of yourself, I want you to write down every bad thing that happened to you. Every abuse that your abuser did. So whether that be isolation, name calling, breaking something, any abuse that has happened to you in the past, I want you to write it down. I want you to have a record of it, a visible record that you can read and look at. So that way, when your cravings are really bad, and your brain tries to trick you that they were actually good and loving, and your brain will try to make you think of all the good times, you have a list of all the bad things that happened to you. But another good reason to write it down is when you're in the abuse, you start to forget things, right? That part of your brain shrinks, and you actually start to forget the things, or kind of block them out, what happened to you. But as you start to heal and as you have distance from that relationship, memories start to come back. And it's good to have a record of those memories, because if you're going through maybe divorce or custody or whatever you're going through, it's always good to have documentation and have a record of what has happened to you. So writing down everything you can remember, every detail. If you can remember days and times, write those down too. It's really important, not only for your memory, so you can read back and look at this when your brain tries to trick you, but also documentation is power. The other part of this 2-step part is writing down a list of things to do when you feel a really strong craving. So those cravings are going to come. And remember, they peak at about 15 to 20 minutes. But during that 15-20 minutes, they're really intense, and you're going to feel really tempted to go back or to call or whatever, to have some sort of contact. And so having a list of what you're going to do when you feel these cravings and having it written down right in front of you is super important. Because when you feel that, your brain's not going to have time to process or think, what should I do? It's just going to be really, you're going to be firing off signals. Call them, you need them, it's important, you have to have them, you can't live without them. And it's going to try and trick you. But if you have a list written down in front of you, okay, I'm feeling this. I know what I'm feeling, and I know that what my brain is telling me is wrong in this moment. So what I need to do, do I need to exercise? Do I need to get up and clean? Do I need to bake something? Do I need to call a friend? Do I need to reach out to, a community member? Do I need to get outside? Do I need to start dancing? Whatever you need to do in those moments to distract yourself and to keep yourself busy so that you don't fall back into that cycle, then that's what you need to do. But having it written down on a list in front of you that you can go to is super important. So there's your 2 parts for writing it down. The last and final step is using your pain for a purpose. When we share our story, we let other people know that they're not alone. Joining a support group is a great way to not only learn about abuse and learn that you're not alone, but it's also a great way to meet other people and share your story and let them know that they're not alone, that you've been through it and that you know what they're going through. It's a good way to connect. When we are open and vulnerable with one another, that's when true connection and true healing can begin. Sharing my story that I left an 18-year abusive relationship with 9 kids lets other people with children know that it is possible to do. Sharing that I've never had a job or no income lets other people dealing with poverty know that it's possible to overcome. When we share our story and we're open and honest with one another, we're helping other people heal, and we're helping ourselves heal as well. Because the more we speak our truth, the more we share our story, we're breaking the shame, we're exposing the darkness, we're breaking the silence, and we're letting the world know what happened to us is not okay, and what happened to you is not okay. We need to use our pain for a purpose. God didn't give us the pain, but He is giving us a purpose, and we can help others heal from it. God's going to take our broken heart and He's going to use it to heal people's hearts. God's going to take our ashes and turn it into beauty, because that's what He did. That's what He does. And that's what He's doing through me and this YouTube channel. And He can do that through you too. So the more that we are bold and brave and we share our story, the more we're healing ourselves and helping other people heal as well. So be brave, share your story, and use that pain and turn it into something beautiful. Turn it into a purpose to help others heal. I hope that you found these steps and tools helpful and that they empowered you to do what you need to do to break free from this trauma bond. It's not going to be easy, but it is possible. And you can do anything with God who strengthens you. And I'm here to walk by you so that we can go from surviving to thriving together. You don't have to do this alone. And remember, it's okay to reach out for help. So if you ever need help and you're in an emergency situation or you just need some advice, the National Domestic Abuse Hotline is always there 24/7. Please don't hesitate to give them a call. The number is 1-800-799-7233. They're there to help. And if you're ready, you can also call to find a therapist, because having a therapist that's trauma-informed can help teach you the skills and resources necessary for you to learn to heal and grow yourself. Also, joining a domestic abuse support group is a really positive way to grow community and also to know that you're not alone. Whatever direction you choose to take, just know that you're not alone and that there's people that have been through it. I've been through it and I know what you're going through. It's not easy, but I promise you it is possible. And on the other side of being trapped is you being free. And that freedom is so beautiful and so possible. And together we can do it. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope that you found it helpful. If you have any tips or advice for survivors on how to break free from the trauma bond, put them in the comments. Please like or post this page so that we can help other people break free from the trauma bond. I appreciate it, and I look forward to the next video. Bye!